I do want to go back to Philly for a second, only because they feel like a team that's become very intriguing. It might be a year away from right now. So they had some cap issues, which was going to limit their spending in free agency. So it's not a major surprise, Todd, that they were fairly inactive in free agency. But they now have the 12th pick this year and most likely 3 first-round picks next year. They now own their own, Miami's, and if Carson Wentz plays 75% of the regular season snaps or 70% and Indy makes the playoffs, they own Indy's as well. So this is a team that is loaded with potential draft capital next year. Does it feel like this is the ultimate evaluation year for Jalen Hurts? Or do you take this as, hey, maybe the opportunity here is to make Jalen Hurts the centerpiece and then just absolutely load up with weapons both this year and next around him?
Yeah, I mean, they're committed to Jalen Hurts. That's what everyone in the organization is saying, and you've got to be, because that's your option. That's the direction you went, and you made that Carson Wentz deal because you thought that Hurts was going to bring you more success moving forward, and it frees up a lot of money too. Let's be honest. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to lead Philadelphia or any NFL organization to a Super Bowl. I just don't think he's that level of quarterback. And I love the guy. I love what he did. I love how he handled the transfer. I love how he competed his final year at Oklahoma. And I love his mobility and his toughness and his leadership and his maturity too. But I just don't see the consistent accuracy there. But now you've got 4 first-round picks potentially, as you mentioned, in the 2-year span. So you're going to find out probably at the end of next season, not 2021, but 2022, if Hurts can be your guy, if you get enough players around him. I don't think it can be just this year as an evaluation. You want to see progress, and you want to see him kind of take that job over and show that he can improve as he gets more game experience in the NFL. But I think it's going to probably be 2022 when you have to make that final assessment of the quarterback position moving forward.
Mel, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting with Philadelphia with the whole Jalen Hurts situation, because you're not getting him that great receiver. You're counting on maybe the early second round, getting a guy like Tutu Atwell, Louisville, Rashad Bateman from Minnesota, maybe Diami Brown from North Carolina, Terrace Marshall Jr. from LSU. I get all that. The key, though, I think for a lot of these teams is, Todd, this year coming up, and if you go to next year, 2022 draft, there will be maybe Sam Howell, North Carolina, right? Is the quarterback we're all talking about. Yeah. 2023 draft is where you may have the next Trevor Lawrence. And he's sitting down at Clemson. He started 2 games. He was phenomenal against BC and Notre Dame. DJ Uiagalelei.
You got the name already, Mel. Look at you.
I was just going to call you out on that.
Whoa.
Was that okay?
Called DJ. No, that was tremendous.
I tried it out on the Daria Mel show, and Daria ripped me for saying it wrong the first time. So,
it sounded as right as I could imagine it.
Hey, DJ also works just fine.
Yeah, DJ Uiagalelei is going to be the guy. I mean, this guy didn't throw interceptions last year. He didn't throw interceptions in high school. He's 6'4", 250. He can move. He looks like the real
I've seen him live, Mel. I've watched him warm up. I've seen him live throwing in games. This dude is a freak. Physically. I mean, I don't know what he's going to develop into mentally. I haven't spent any time with him, but you want to talk about tools. This guy has everything. I mean, he was built into quarterback lab.
And he went out in 2 games last year against BC and Notre Dame and put up huge numbers.
He did, yeah.
Yep.
He was incredible. So again, as a true freshman. So and remember, this is a true freshman that played, as Trevor Lawrence said, without 4 starters on the line from the previous year, no Justin Ross, who was injured, and no T. Higgins, who was doing well with the Cincinnati Bengals. So this was a different offense around the quarterback. And for 2 games against BC and Notre Dame, DJ Uiagalelei looked like a future number 1
Now
pick.
You're showing off.
Yeah.
Now I got him in good rhythm. Now I got to keep going, you know?
I wanted to offer, and by the way, one last thought on the Eagles. And I kind of feel like this is like an NBA thing that maybe is going to permeate into the NFL, but with, let's just call it 3 first-round picks for right now, most likely 3 first-round picks for Philly next year. What it's allowed them to do is, if something comes up, and prior to the current situation and taking place off the field with Deshaun Watson, it seemed like a trade was inevitable. We'll see what happens there. Russell Wilson expressed his preferred 4 teams if he were to be traded without demanding a trade.
Yep.
Doesn't it feel like Philly has positioned itself that even if Jalen Hurts doesn't pan out this upcoming year, they're well suited or positioned that who knows what the next unhappy or less than thrilled quarterback might be, where Philly's got ammo now that if they want to be a big major player in trades around the NFL, they can do so, especially next year if that first round pick from Indy materializes.
Yeah, and don't forget too, Phil, we didn't know about Joe. We knew about Joe Burrow. We thought he was a fifth, sixth, seventh round pick going into the 2019 season. He's a number one overall pick. And then, Kyler Murray had started a game and played one series prior to his final year at Oklahoma, and he's the number one overall pick. Mm-hmm. And this year we're talking about Mac Jones maybe going number 3 overall. He had started 4 games in the previous season and threw 2 pick sixes against Auburn. And coming into the year, Coach Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator, was just stay in your lane. Don't try to do too much. He's just kind of a game manager, if you will. And then by the end of the season, he develops into the guy that is running the whole offense and had more installed by Sarkisian than any other college quarterback that he's worked with. And that's a pretty good lineup when you go back and look at his days at USC and other places. So to me, we always say, well, next year's class isn't that good. And there's always at least one, if not 2 or 3 guys that move up in that first round range.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.